Hey, Crestwood, happy Wednesday to you. Hope you all are doing exceedingly well today on this beautiful day that God has given us. I also hope you are continuing to bask in the glow of the joy of the resurrection. What an amazing gift God has given us, and what a joy it is to live that out and to experience that each and every day. I'm still flying high from our Easter Sunday worship services. If you were there, wow, God's Spirit was just running rampant through the sanctuary. We had almost 600 people in the two services, over 75 kids were there for the children's time and for the flowering of the cross. Incredible music, just a great energy and spirit in the sanctuary. I wish every Sunday or Easter Sunday in that way. But gosh, it was so good to see so many of you and to spend that time in worship with you, celebrating what God has done for us. And it's an honor to be with you to bring you this devotional for this Wednesday, April 23rd. So as I said in my sermon on Sunday, I did something I'd never done before, which was not preach the resurrection. I appreciated Bill McDonald's chiming in both services that he was not foolish enough, or at least not brave enough, to ever not preach the resurrection on Easter. But the reason I did it was because we hear that story so much, we're familiar with it, that it may become rote. We may become numb to the meaning of it. And I think so many people, like I said, now more than ever, are asking, so what? What does it mean if the resurrection was real? And so reading the Road to Emmaus story and talking about what it meant for those two disciples who encountered Jesus along the way, for me, helped to put the resurrection in practical terms. Yeah, it's great that it happened. It's a wonderful story in a book, but what does it mean for my life today? How do I know that the resurrection is still real? And I think for me, the key to knowing that is looking for it. Where are we looking for signs of resurrection in our lives? Where are we looking for places where God is present with us? Where are we looking for ways that God is speaking to us? I remember for me, one of the most powerful moments where I experienced that was walking through downtown Chicago. I had just come from an appointment with my neurologist who had confirmed my diagnosis with MS and laid out sort of a treatment plan, but also laid out some of the potential consequences of what this diagnosis could mean for the rest of my life. And I was struggling. I was at a pretty low point as I walked from the doctor's office back to the station to catch the train. And as I sort of had my head down, kind of staring at the sidewalk, just sort of caught up in all my own emotions and feelings, I looked up, and in front of me, floating there, was a bubble, a perfect bubble. And it floated there for about 3 or 4 seconds, then it popped and disappeared. Kind of reminds me of when the disciples on the road to Emmaus recognized Jesus, then he vanished as well. Now, you could tell me that that soap bubble came from the bucket or the wand of a window washer who had been window washing one of the buildings high above me, and the bubble had floated down. Yeah, you could have told me that. That probably was true. But that's not what I experienced. I experienced the presence of God with me in that little bubble, that perfectly round bubble, perfectly round in the way that God's love is perfect for us and never ends. And it was just a message to me from God to stop looking down and look up, because when you look up, you see things you may miss. It's so easy in our world today to kind of put our head down, just focus on what's in front of us, focus on the things that are weighing us down, focus on the things that are consuming us. But the message that I heard in that bubble and the message I hear in the resurrection is look up. Look up and look around to see where God is at work around us. It's so easy to put on the blinders and have that tunnel vision, but I know God is at work. I've seen it in my own life. I've experienced it through inconsequential things like bubbles, but in consequential ways of God's love and God's grace and people's generosity and their hospitality. God is at work all around us. God is walking with us on this journey. All we have to do is look for God, to ask God, show me where you are. Show me that you are present with me. And if we're looking for it, I trust in God's promises that God will show us God's presence with us, that Jesus will remind us that he knows what it's like to be human. He knows what it's like to struggle, to go through all the emotions, and he has not abandoned us, but that Christ, the risen Christ, the resurrected Christ, is walking with us no matter what we are going through. So today, Crestwood, as we continue to live out the joy of the resurrection, I want to encourage you to keep your head up. Keep looking for him around you. Keep looking for Jesus' presence in the places where you feel like he has abandoned you. And be reminded of the promise that Jesus walks with us. At the end of Matthew's gospel, he reminds the disciples that he is with us even till the end of the age. Christ never abandons us. He has resurrected, he is with us, and he is always going to be present and active and working for us. Crestwood, you are not alone. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. God bless you, Crestwood.